Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, September 5th, 3:20 p.m. Sorry, I'm 5 minutes late. Me and technology. It's a thing, but me and technical analysis is another thing. So let's get into it. SPY, bulls. So in the Morse history of the most boring intraday action on SPY ever, we had a massive move first thing, and then we consolidated the entire day, basically staying within a very incredibly tight range. We had a fake out bull break, a fake out bear break. Now we're seeing the bulls follow through. In my opinion, IWM and Apple were the ones that gave me the insight that SPY was going to break bull. We had a triple top on IWM here at 150.52. As soon as that broke bull, things started happening. Apple was the exact same thing. Bulls started showing up over 212.37, and then all of a sudden it was just bulls, 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 and bulls. So SPY daily chart, same thing. We have our daily equilibrium, bull break, follow through, closing up near the high of the day. Bulls on absolute fire, healthy consolidation all day, and they can run into the end of the day. If we do top out and eventually set a lower high on the daily time frame compared to 302.23, then we still do have that potential for that bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern on the slant. The other thing that we do have potential for on the weekly time frame, in terms of bears, otherwise bulls are really just in full control of every time frame here. The one thing that we still have potential for, I'm going to talk slower, guys. Okay, otherwise I'm going to run into problems here. The other thing that we do still have potential for because of that slant is that potential for a rising wedge to form on this weekly time frame, and that would be like getting a new high at like 305 and then crashing back down, which would suck. But we know that sometimes SPY does that with new all-time highs. It just doesn't see follow through. So there is potential for that. And okay, so we're working, just making sure we're working here. Okay, so those two are the two bearish scenarios. Otherwise, bulls are in full control. We have higher lows and higher highs. This is another higher low now on the weekly time frame. So bulls are in control of the weekly time frame. Bulls are in control of the daily time frame. Bulls are in control of the hourly time frame. And bears have a heck of a lot of proving to do if they are going to do anything to take this market down in any significant or long-term manner. IWM, we'll just do it. That's a different story. So they are not in that same bullish uptrend compared to SPY. And we can see that they are trying to break out on this daily time frame out of the downtrend. We do have this little now lower high, higher low, and then a higher high. So we have a trend change now on the daily time frame for IWM. We're still rejecting from the 100 period and potentially the 50 period exponential moving average. And this is still potential for a weekly kind of bearish move as another consolidation for a leg down. Or we might get a full breakout and see a big W, but that would take a lot for IWM considering it's one of the most beat up sectors right now. Thank you for posting that so that if people are not getting it properly on the website, we can do that. Okay, and CGC continuing up. So let's check in on gold. So this morning, gold was pulling back and miners were pulling back. And I mentioned that miners were getting super beat up. I was not interested in a bounce just on the 5-minute time frame. It had to get pretty beat up. Gold trying to hold the 20-period average on the daily moving average on the daily time frame. We do now have a lower low. What we don't have is a lower high and a lower low. I don't think, because we did top out slightly. It's all pretty much a double top within $1 of a $1,500 instrument. I'm going to call that a double top on gold. And we do have a lower low. So bulls will be looking for a short-term bounce. Bears are going to be looking for follow through and weekly consolidation for gold. And checking in on oil, I mentioned, so oil has, I've been pointing this out for weeks now, that oil has this area within these pink lines that when it's above the pink lines, it's bullish, and then below it, it's bearish. So what happened was we got back inside the pink lines with the break over 55.05 yesterday. We went straight to the top of the initial one. I have it here between 57.58 and 57.85. We topped out at 57.72 and immediately pulled back and rejected quite hard. Pointed out on the 4-hour time frame, just a little trade review here. Somebody was asking me where the short trade setup was going to look to. Trying to figure out which time frame I saw it on. It must be the 4-hour. Because I said 56.47 was the 4-hour EMA, and then I said there's the 10.56.04. We bottomed at 56 psychological. We're going to see if that 4-hour closes over that 5 EMA. That's going to be healthier for the bulls. If it closes below it, then we gave back a bit too much of the move, and we might intend to chop between 55.06 and 57.85 a bit more until we establish direction. SPY seeing new local highs for this move. And IIPR, okay, wait, let's finish natural gas and Bitcoin, and then I'm going to go over some great plays that worked out today and hope that anybody took them. NVDA on fire, 180 test coming up. Natural gas 4-hour inventory gave us that 4-hour higher low, 238.50. We're going to look for a potential lower high compared to 246.3, but this is strong enough bouncing off that 12 and 10 area that natural gas can see new highs. 250 is going to be clear resistance. And if we get over 250 for natural gas, I'm watching 2596 as our next resistance. The dollar in the meantime is 4-hour lower high. So gold pulling back and dollar is bouncing, but 4 hours just a lower high until we get a trend change. That is all it's going to be. 98.54 is going to be our key resistance for the dollar. Bitcoin. I'm going to slow down, but I have so much to go over today. Even though it was a slow day, I feel like there's still so much to go over. So 4-hour time frame fake out here. We hit that new high. I'm not surprised that we hit that high. I have, oh, my line's not on this chart. It's on one of the charts. 10.859 I had a line, and we topped out at 10.848. So not surprised to see that be a resistance zone. And this is a potential ugly head and shoulders. I really don't like calling it that, but basically if we move from this higher low and higher high to a lower low and a lower high and a lower low, that'll be kind of that trend change. So Bitcoin, I'm going to be watching if we do get a bear break, watching if we can see something around 10,200 for a potential bounce, because we do still need that daily higher low. We have come pretty much straight off the bottom for that bounce, and that's going to be anything over 9,410. So lots of room as far as the daily, but we are still maintaining that kind of inside bar-ish bull flag thing. It's just a bit uglier now than it was. Okay, getting into some daily setups that we saw today. So mentioned Roku was falling, and it was falling fast, and I didn't like it quite here because it didn't hit my target. And I said I was looking for 160.70 as my target. And I don't remember why. So let's see if we can find it. There we go. Hourly 50 period exponential moving average was sitting right here at 160.74. We hit it, bounced right off of it, had that lower low with no follow through. Bulls bought the dip straight off of it. Beautiful trade on Roku. And stop was just going to be under 160 psychological, and really nice follow through. Looking for that higher, lower high now on Roku to form. IIPR was the other trade that was on watch today, and it's having really good follow through. IIPR, look at this follow through, like on that bounce. It was nuts. So what I was looking for, I was hoping to get closer to 81. I was going to enter on 81 if it hit that. It didn't, so I waited for the trend change instead. I took the entry after it broke 85.71. And I've just been holding that. I am looking for a move towards 92 or potentially even 100 based on the weekly time frame. And that's because I was looking for this bounce off of the weekly 50 period, which it didn't quite hit, but I am going to be looking potential here. That target will be 96 area for that weekly 5 EMA. We'll see when that hits it. If it hits it, we obviously need continuation, but daily is coming straight off the lows right now. So I do have to be a little bit cautious because this is still a daily lower high and we haven't even tested the daily 5 EMA. That's where that 92 first target is coming up. And then if we can get over that, I was probably going to be looking towards a back test of this 100 that had held as support so many times. I'll probably be trying to see if we can get a move to that as a new resistance. Would be the trade setup for that. IAN, I made an entry in IAN today, so full disclosure on that. Obviously we've been trading very, very flat, but I like how we've been curling up and slowly trying to close over these EMAs. I said I like the entry. I took the entry at 343 and I said I'm going to set my stop below 325. I liked it because I know that my target is going to be up here at 382 and that is going to give me a 2 up, 1 down risk reward. So I'm comfortable taking that trade and then we'll see where it goes. I'm also comfortable with it because last time I sold IAN was down here on the loss of 410. And so I'm happy to try to buy that position back for a potential weekly bounce as well. So watching that, and then NVDA just super strong all day. Hourly bull flag confirmed. So strong. And now I should probably get into your guys' tickers because you're probably sick of hearing about mine. So let's start it off with SPY, which I already did. CWeb, that's the one I wanted to get to anyways. And I'm going to do a quick review on what I'm looking at for CWeb. So CWeb, so 4 hour, hourly, whatever you want to call it, equilibrium, we have our lower high 2381, 2341, 2335, bunch of lower highs. We are holding up all exponential moving averages. You can see that this 100 period is definitely driving the price down. If we can get over that, I can anticipate that that's where going to be our pop is from. Then I zoom out, I look at the weekly chart. So the hourly equilibrium looks nice, but hourly equilibriums only look nice if they have a reason that they look nice. And the reason that this one looks nice is that potential for our weekly lower higher low to be set. And that if we can get back over this 5 period exponential moving average, which is essentially where that triple top is at 2349, if we can get over that, which would break the equilibrium, we'd also be looking for a weekly lower high. So then I say, okay, where am I looking for a weekly lower high? And it's pretty nice when things line up. So eyeballing it, I would say probably 27. And then what I did was I took the hourly equilibrium for the measured move. And I said, okay, move from the low to the high is this. So 323, and then I took the breakout level, which is 2335, extrapolated that up $3.23 for the measured move, gave me a target of 2659, which matches right up with where I would have eyeballed. And then I did something even more fun, which was to go back on that weekly chart. Look at these fibs and then take the move from the high to the low. And then I saw that, move from the high to the low, and I saw that that was going to line up right with the golden pocket 2624, and I said 2659. That's going to line up right with that area of the golden pocket, so that made that target a little bit more reasonable if we can break out of this hourly equilibrium. I actually did enter the position already only because if we break out, my risk here is still 6 up and 1 down, so that was worth it for me to just enter the position and not have to think about it, especially if it decided to break out while I was live or tomorrow if I'm not watching. So I'll be paying attention to it, but not that closely. So XBI. So XBI weekly chart, bulls buying the dip up hard. We're still well under all exponential moving averages. We're still in a lower highs and lower lows, but at this point, the lower lows are getting so little follow through that we can be watching for a potential wedge on XBI weekly. It would be a pretty interesting thing to play out. It would probably take like into December at least. I don't anticipate that playing out much before then. And we're going to see how we react. 81.52 is that key resistance. Got to get back over weekly exponential moving averages to even look at a weekly lower high. And that's going to be anything under 89.30. So daily time frame, weakest sector by far, but had a good bounce today. Back tested the lows, the highs of yesterday, trying to close above the 12 period exponential moving average, but 81.52 is still just lower highs and lower lows on the daily time frame, even though it's pretty choppy and they do take on a significant portion of the move. And SBUX. SBUX bulls buying the dip, very choppy daily chart. We have higher highs and then lower lows. So we're going to zoom out because I don't like that daily chart. It's not easy to play when you have something that's ranging so hard. So let's check out. There we go. So that's why monthly chart, inside bar, not quite. Oh, double bottom. Monthly chart is a double bottom at 93.03, potential bull flag. We're going to see if we do get consolidation. We are stretched a little bit far above the 5 EMA, but that's why it's so choppy, because the monthly chart giving us a huge move and needing consolidation, even if it's sideways. Okay, LVGO. That is a monthly chart. It's always fun. If you never look at yearly or monthly charts, you really should, just because it gives so much context to everything. Daily, bear flag, rejection from the 12, boom, down. Increasing bear volume, black dirt breakdown. Hourly trend change at a minimum. Otherwise, this thing is not doing much. Going to be looking for an hourly higher low. We did bounce reasonably well, but you can see that we just bounced. We got so stretched below the 5 and we're rejecting from it. So bears still in full control unless we can get over 26.68. But really nice bear play if you took that today. CLDR, hourly time frame, really ugly here. Rising wedge, bull break, no follow through. Testing the 5 EMA, it's going to need to really rise up and show me something, because that doesn't look so nice. It already had the bull move, and so the future bull move just didn't have much mojo behind it. And there was the bull move happening pre-market, and basically indecision candle on the daily time frame, still closing over everything. Looks fine, but it's just one of those things where it gets more range bound during the day because of higher liquidity. So the more volume you have, a lot of times, if it's after a huge move that happens pre-market, it's a lot of people positioning themselves after the move has happened. Whereas when you get a bull move on the daily time frame on increasing bull volume, you see, the full size of the green candle. When it happens pre-market, you end up with people positioning themselves after the move has happened, which is why you end up with less action. It's what happened with SPY today too. Basically, the move happened all overnight. And let's actually check in on the daily volume. The move happened so much overnight that people try to reposition themselves after, and that creates that tightening range and that liquidity. But bull's buying the dip pretty hard on SPY. That is not a real candle. It had an intraday wick trying to pretend like it was a real candle. Increasing bull volume over yesterday, though, notable on SPY as well. And Kira. So from what I gather, I haven't actually checked Kira today, but once it lost 988, I'm going to guess that it turned bearish. So there we go. I mentioned first thing this morning that 988 was a triple bottom. If that lost, then it was going to likely go down potentially towards 947 support. Here we are, 957. And Kira Bulls looking for anything over 894. Let's call it 909. Anything over 909 is still going to be a 4-hour higher low, but healthy consolidation underway. And we do have one thing to be weary of, and that is that potential that's that weekly lower high. You can see that downtrend line. That's rejecting the price from here to here kind of thing. It's not perfect. Maybe it's over it and back testing it from the other underside. I don't know. But basically with price action wise, there is that potential that was our weekly lower high. And then we had a lower low and now another lower high, and still need a higher low and a higher high for a trend change. So Kira, that is what that will need, but healthy consolidation, 4 hours still in an uptrend, just not what they wanted to see given some of the other names acting significantly more bullish today than Kira. Roku, that play was beautiful. Netflix really bugging me today with that wick, because that wick, I entered my position yesterday. I was happy with the entry. I was happy with the trade. and Netflix just absolutely busting out all the stops today and then heading right back up. Definitely struggling at these lines that I have here on the shorter term time frames. Let's go in and see how it's reacting. And you can see pre-market, it topped out right at it, dumped below. I did have this entry to get back in 285.80. That's basically where I stopped out, so I could have had back my exact entry. I just didn't take it because I wasn't paying it quite enough attention while live this morning. Series of lower highs on the 15-minute now with this downtrend line and pre-market. And if we can get over that, you can see that they keep rejecting right around these lines. So over 295 is going to be looking potentially up back at 300, and my original 300 and 312 targets for Netflix. ADSK. ADSK, all bulls. 15-minute potential cup and handle here forming. Going to need that little handle and then break out over 149.11 daily time frame. Ooh, IAN profit taking already. Come on, they got to close better than that. They have to close better than 343 for me. I don't like this profit taking already on IAN. So Autodesk, huge bear move. Bulls bought the dip in a huge way. Higher low, higher high, resistance 150, 140. Then looking up at the 50-day, 153.63. ENPH bear move today. So rejecting from the 5-period exponential moving average, seeing another leg down, losing the 50. We are in gap fill territory. That's going to fill at 2170. So we do have to be cautious, patiently waiting for an hourly trend change. Potential that we get, even with that hourly trend change, a lower high, back test the 50, and then see the rest of the gap fill, because we are on increasing bear volume today. So we do have to be aware of that for ENPH. Boeing, beautiful daily equilibrium setting up. High, low, lower high, higher low, new lower high set today. It does have a whole bunch of crosses. They look to me like they already happened. Big volume today, but definitely that double top at 3. There was a triple top at basically 364, 55, 67, 71. And then once it lost, I believe it was losing 360, 350, 42. And then it was a bear trade since then. I had wanted it for a potential long trade to see if it would get this continuation, but I stopped out of that because it wasn't going my way. CGC, I'm just going to put this chart out there again. It was the clearest chart to me on so many time frames, and that was the 2-week chart. The 2-week chart marked the bottom. It marked where the buy zone was. The weekly chart was so overextended to the downside. We knew we were weekly oversold. This is the 2-week chart with just weeks and weeks and weeks of red in a row. Hit that 100, bouncing straight off of it and forming a nice little rounded bottom off of it too. We're just going to be looking for a lower high. It might even be that we just get a rejection from the 5-period exponential moving average. Weekly time frame, same thing. We're just looking for that short-term bounce. It was still a potential bear flag until today. Let's see if it's still a potential bear flag. Not so much anymore, but still only testing the 5 EMA. So if you were looking for an exit, if you did get in at those lows near 23 and you're looking for an exit, definitely I'd be looking to take partial profit here. If we get a bit higher, maybe towards 27, I'd be looking to take partial profit and then see if we do get a bull move, maybe back up towards lower high resistance $30. But otherwise, that's what we're looking at. Still looking fine on the daily time frame. I believe on the shorter term time frames, we might have a little triple top here. High of the day, 26.53. Resistance is going to be 26.92 and 27.76. SPY pulling back, so not holding those gains into the end of the day that well. I mean, it's holding gains. The daily looks just fine. I just mean that little end of the day 15-cent move, which I suppose is not really that important. Roku I did. CGC, GS, news, RVLV. I have to speed up today. Well, that's a new one for me. Okay, RVLV trying to get this daily oversold bounce, not really oversold, but you know what I mean, daily bounce trend change going 23.87. We did get over it, not seeing follow through. I want to see a close over the 12 period exponential moving average. If we get that, then we can be potentially looking for follow through 21.10 support. IRDM. So daily time frame continues higher lows and higher highs, seeing follow through today. Not much follow through. Resistance is going to be 24.70. We're over that. 25.85 and 26.27. Looking like a broader weekly equilibrium with our high, low, lower high, higher low, and potential for another lower high compared to 26.93. SPY not even closing over 298. That's wild. XBO daily also trying to break out, also failing to close over that breakout level. I would like it to close over 71.97. And that's because it hasn't been able to close over that level a few times in a row, and the MACD is looking super weak, but it's fine. The chart is fine. Daily chart's holding that higher lows. It's just not getting convincing with its breakout. BLDR. I feel like that company, I definitely would have thought their name was Boulder, but it's not. Really nice. So beautiful daily equilibrium. If you want something on watch, this should be like a BYOC chart. That is just gorgeous looking. New lower high today, 1956, 1968, 1987. Beautiful. Keep that on watch. Really nice daily equilibrium unfolding on BLDR. Tomato Farms, bearish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame. We're going to need a higher low and a higher high to see continuation to get that weekly lower high, rejecting from the 50 period exponential moving average. We're going to need to back test potentially tomorrow and then get a close over it to get that 510 cross happening and get back over those exponential moving averages to look for that weekly lower high on that. UNT, still potential bi-weekly bear flag. Bulls need to, the red flag was that we did break we didn't. So still holding 251, holding the higher lows. Bulls need to break 328 now and get back over exponential moving averages. OH, should probably check OH because OH doing good things. So OH daily time frame, seeing continued follow through, still watching for that move to 849. Hopefully we'll see that tomorrow. If we hit 849 tomorrow, just based now on the way that the 3-day charts are looking, I will anticipate this 5 to cross the 50, hit 849, and then get a bearish reversal candlestick off of it tomorrow. I'm still hoping I can get out at 866 for my entry, but I'm going to be keeping nimble on it. I will anticipate that if we do get that pop there and then that reversal candle, that we're going to have to come down and set a daily higher low, in which case I will hope to be out of that trade. New higher low on the daily time frame, 793 support. Yeah, IAN and OH, easy to move both of those stocks. Work. I definitely started listening to Britney Spears after work went so parabolic today. So huge dip buy on work. Very clear entry on it too today, which was really nice if you were watching it. And that was because, so the move kind of happened and then it kind of fizzled. So nothing much has been happening on it. Well, mind you, this is still good volatility, 29 to 30, 50. Nobody's going to complain about that volatility. But look at this pattern. We said, you know what we always say with oversold bounces, especially when things are in black dirt breakdown, wait for the trend change, 26.95. And then lower high 26.80. As soon as it got over that, you could see all EMAs started to curl up, and then it just rode the 5 EMA up the entire way until it went completely parabolic, got so stretched above it that profit taking just had to happen. Healthy consolidation the entire day for work. They're going to see if the daily can get follow through tomorrow. XAG USD. So bearish reversal candlestick. We're still holding exponential moving averages on silver. We are losing the 5, bouncing off the 10, but definitely that volume kind of looks like that we may have hit our temporary top on silver daily and weekly time frame. So if you're watching, we're going to look for the break of the lows of today for confirmation. And then as far as the weekly time frame goes, big bearish reversal candlestick. Still going to be watching that 5 EMA. That's going to be all the way down at 780. Probably by the time we get there, it will increase the price up to about 18. And then as far as like looking for that higher low, I would love to get it somewhere back around maybe 1740. Probably this level. You see how we have all these tops here? 1770, 1735, 1731. I would love it somewhere in there. I feel like that would be that kind of back testing that breakout spot for silver. Just eyeballing it. Wow, SPY really pulling back. So not super impressed with that SPY pullback just now. Daily chart still looks fine, but definitely looks like they're trying to close it below somewhere. That 297.70 has been that magnet all day. That's basically where we've been spending the entire day there. Oh, STK, doing what I wanted it to do. I stopped watching it. Wow, sugar. I'm still scouting that OSTK daily high or low. I'm still interested in a position for it. It looks like I missed it. So I didn't like it this morning because what happened was it broke over the level I needed it to break over. It broke over 1587 and then pulled back really hard back down towards the lows, 1535. So the bottom fish was off 1518 and seeing really nice follow through. Definitely trying to close over this 5 period. A little worried about all these crosses and still being a bear flag and then that following through tomorrow. So I'm going to be a little bit patient getting a daily trend change, I think, on OSTK. If I am looking for the weekly high or low, just knowing how the bulls run it when they do run it, I'm satisfied. My last sale was at 1784, so I'll be satisfied waiting because I was going to be satisfied with that as my hold position for that weekly high or low, and then I sold it because I saw I didn't like how it was looking, and so I don't mind waiting patiently to get back in and have some follow through, but definitely liking this kind of wedgy look. One more little test at the bottom here would just be rock solid, but we'll see what we get. Roku just so strong every day. It's like it dumps and then it bounces like almost the entire dump already. Man. FSLY. So, ooh, little fake out over 35 today. That was not nice. I would have probably wanted, like, some people probably top fish 34.88, got stopped out over 35, and then they smashed it back down on them. Brutal. Volume. So volume did not support the breakout today. That was the one thing that I will say. So at this point, that's a higher high with no follow through. We got to be a little worried because that's going to look wedgy. We're going to need a higher low compared to 25.57. And it's going to make the bulls a little less trusting of follow throughs too. But we'll see what happens if we get another test of the 5 EMA tomorrow. Always time. I always got time for you guys. Okay, that's not true. Well, it's kind of true. So, fun story, and I mentioned it earlier today, but today is my 1-year anniversary with Dinsey Bear Days. With Bear Days, Thursdays. Guys, it's not Bear Days. Thursdays. Freudian slip there. SPY is bullish today. And so excited to have been sharing the past year of Thursdays with you guys. You are all fantastic. And I absolutely love it so very much. So, yeah, it has been a pleasure, and I look forward to another year of fun Thursdays with you all. And let's see where SPY closes. Not a Bear Thursday once a year on anniversary. Thank you. Yeah, so we're just gonna watch where everything closes. By like, there's not really, unless they like dump it $1 right now, there's not really anything that's gonna make this not a bullish candlestick on SPY. Maybe if they dumped it like $2 right now, then I would say, okay, what are they doing? But I don't think they're going to do that. And if they did, then Trump would just tweet overnight and be like, don't worry, China. He'd probably give up trying again, though. Like that, what was that one tweet that he was like, just said like China talks, and that was all it took. It was like the laziest tweet ever. Roku. Oh, that bounce. I hope somebody took it. That was so good. That was so good. So good. IIPR really nice too. 5% move on IIPR. Beauty. QCOM was a nice one today. QCOM was so good in both directions today. Had a bull break that just kept going up and up forever. And then it had a double top at 80.44 and then dumped like back down to 78s. It was so good in both directions today. So there were some plays. It was weird. SPY was like so calm the whole day, but there were actually some pretty decent plays happening today. Roku was one of them. QCOM was another. Apple had a decent play for options. IAN obviously seeing a nice move. FSLY seeing some serious action today as well. Tesla. Oh, let's do Tesla. Tesla went nuts today. UNP. I'll do it in a second. Tesla's really trying here. We had that wedge. It did technically break out of the wedge and it did back test it. And if it closes over this 100-day and if it gets a... Ooh, I kind of like Tesla. Ooh. It's a bit far of a stop. I don't love the stop here. But I'm kind of digging Tesla. Not as much as my 17 entry from 2008, but whatever. I didn't hold it. I thought it was all fancy. I sold it at 24. It's like, woohoo, good trade. And I didn't trade since then for like 10 years. Probably because I should have just held it. Over two, ooh, this is good. 232.40 is going to confirm that daily uptrend and be a potential breakout. Then I'll be looking up at 237 100-day. I'm tempted by Tesla. Increasing bull volume on the daily time frame, closing over the 50 period. There's 3 minutes left in the day and I'm tempted by Tesla. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, I like the look of it. I'm not crazy about the stop. It would have to be a small position because the stop is $10 away, which is a bit farther than I would like, but I do like it. UNP. Oh, SPY. Look at that magnet to 297.70. I'm going to say 297.73 close on SPY just because of how magnetic it is. And because I have 3 minutes left, and so that's not such a bold claim to make. IAN, a close over 360 would just be super nice here. UNP, yeah, but anything under UNP, the problem is daily is coming off the bottom. We do have this mini trend change, if you want to call it, but I'm looking at this broader trend change of low, high, low, lower, high, lower, low. And so anything under 170.09 is still, and we're rejecting from the 50 and the 100 period exponential moving average. So I am keeping that on watch. CWeb not following through. The hourly looks so good. Back testing, seeing a little bit of increasing bear volume into CWeb here. We're still within the hourly, but not doing what I want it to do just yet. But it might even be that it's better if it back tests the 5 and then can break that 100, but that 100 has to break. So I'm going to be keeping a close watch on that tomorrow. Again, small position. I'm not too concerned about that. And IAN more than offsetting those losses right now. And not even that it's really a loss. Like IAN is like triple. So. Okay, I think that's all. Everybody's out of tickers and out of brain cells today. Time to go sit in back to school traffic for like 5 hours. That's going to be fun. Okay, have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see what tomorrow brings. See if the bulls get more follow through. Hopefully the move can happen during the day and not all overnight and be annoying and then do nothing all day. But always good plays to have, as we saw today. IAN, give me 380 tomorrow. Let's see that continuation. And yeah, thanks guys.